Guys, my name is Ted, and if you don't know me, I run an Etsy 3D printing business, making about $500 to $700 a month in sales with just a single 3D printer. I'm not like other YouTubers who have a giant wall of 3D printers behind them. I just have one printer. I have three total products. They only work 1 to 2 hours a week. Nothing crazy. So today I'm going to be talking about how I'm growing my Etsy 3D printing business using AI specifically. Now, I had this revelation after a crappy month on Etsy. I'm not going to lie. So I had only 10 orders last month and I only made $220 in total sales last month. Compared to my average here, mid 20s, like I said, 5 to $700 is usually where I'm in my sales. My conversion rate is usually at the high, mid threes, but here, I mean, it's terrible. 1.4. So after having this bad month and not really changing much for the reason that this happened, I knew I had to pivot and find some new way to sell. So I'm going to be talking about how I'm using Shopify specifically paired with AI to grow my 3D printing business. And here you can see more of the numbers, only barely I'm going under on the ads. Like I'm not doing good with these ads. It's frustrating to see. So, I figured there has to be another way to have more consistency, especially with my sales. So I'm expanding outwards to Shopify, and I'll talk about that here. So I'll talk about the problems here with just selling on Etsy. I think the biggest thing is the always changing algorithm. You have the warm traffic, which is a plus. People are on there already looking to buy stuff. But the always changing algorithm is really frustrating because you can have a great product and for no specific reason at all, it just stops. And that's dangerous. You don't want to just be reliant on one platform and one algorithm. The other way is having expensive ads. So like I see here, I spent about what, $77 on ads and I only had 7 to 8 clicks per day, which is all right if it is warm traffic, but it's not the best. It is getting more expensive to get good ads and get good return on those ads specifically. And you don't have an audience that you're selling to, especially if you're in a niche that's selling the same products for a specific niche, specific problems that people are running into. You don't really have an audience that you can advertise to. You just are selling it on the platform. You might have people who follow your shop, but really, how many people on Etsy are going back to your shop and viewing your stuff? Not that frequent. So, building an audience can lead to more sales. And only a certain amount of people can see your product. It's only the people on Etsy. It can't expand the reach to more, especially if you have a pretty specific niche. I'm in the sewing tools niche. So it has a good amount of people, but only so many people are going to be on Etsy looking for those things compared to the general population. And there's a lack of customization with the advertisements. And I think that's why the ads are so expensive. I mean, all they're seeing is your product images and the title. They're not seeing what is the problem it's solving, more of a demonstration or like testimonials up front. They're just seeing those first couple of images, which is why I think adding a video is super important because you can demonstrate how your product is solving a problem. And I talk about that in my other videos on how to design products that solve people's problems because I think that's what's successful with Etsy specifically. But let's talk about some of the pros of selling on Etsy. So, like I already said, warm traffic. You have people going on Etsy already. They want to buy stuff. They have their wallets ready. But the issue is that all these negatives here. So you have the warm traffic, but at the cost of all of this. So I think hitting both with Shopify and Etsy, which, like I said, I'll talk about here on how I'm growing with Shopify, but that warm traffic is a plus. It's really easy to find products that work. And I really like to use Etsy in a way that you find that winning product and then you bring it to Shopify. Then you spend up on ads on Facebook or whatever other platform you're selling on, maybe TikTok. You can find those products that people enjoy because it's really easy to test out, see what works, see what people really want with the products that you're selling. It's great if you're in a hobby or crafting niche. I think that's why my shop has been very successful is because I'm making sewing tools and a lot of people who are, more crafty, they do sewing, quilting, etc. They buy my products, which, Etsy by default is a very artsy platform. So those people are going to be on the website looking for products already. So here's how I plan to expand my shop outside of Etsy. With this being said, I'm still selling on Etsy. I'm still selling my products, but it's a great way, like I said, to filter those winning products. You can find the products that people like really love that are going to work on other platforms. You can generate reviews and get an understanding of your customer. I think this is another big thing. Users are very incentivized on Etsy to leave reviews. They're sent emails about leaving reviews. You can write like a handwritten note that really helped me out get my first couple of reviews on my Etsy shop. Writing out, I'm a small business. If you could leave a review, that would really help out. And that really helps you understand the biggest pluses of your product. And you can really use that in your advertisements and, when you're trying to sell these products outside of Etsy. But you can also still use it on Etsy. Add that to your description, add that to your title, those main benefits of the product. So what I'm doing now is I'm expanding to Shopify and I'm selling the winning products on Shopify. Now I have all my products on my website still, but I'm mainly just advertising those winning products, the ones that people I know have loved and they've bought in the past. And I'm doing that with Facebook slash Meta ads. And I'm also using Claude at the same time with this. Now, the way I'm using Claude specifically is by using the Facebook MCP ads connector. And that really helps me out creating these ads and optimizing these ads because by no means am I, e-commerce marketing expert. Claude is. Claude is smarter than me when it comes to that stuff. So these two pair together super well. Whoops, I don't know what that was. These two pair together super well when you're trying to build your ad campaign. And then I'm using Higsfield AI to build those product images, the UGC, people actually using the products and demonstrating them for the advertisements. That way, it's just not like a product placement. So that is how I'm using AI to grow here with Higsfield and Claude. And I'll go into more specifics here. So Shopify is great to sell those winning products, but you need to find that traffic. The way I do that is with Facebook ads here. And the thing I found is you need to spend about $50 upfront to like buy the data. You don't just run ads and it's going to work right away. Facebook needs to understand your consumer, who they are, and you need to consistently purchase ads. So I'm doing, I believe, $5 a day, just starting off pretty low. But I know the product is a winner. I know people are going to like it in my niche and they're going to buy it. But you have to buy that data up front. Meta needs to understand your customer. They need to get those few purchases to really tailor those advertisements to be as accurate as possible. And this thing called Shopify with Pixel that they use that can track those conversions and see what people are doing on your website. That way it can pivot to be more successful. So how do these two connect here with Claude? Oh, it was a bad arrow. Claude and Meta, another bad arrow. Hold up. Claude and Meta ads here. So how do these two connect? So they link with the Facebook ads MCP, which I have down here. So you can link that directly with Claude. And the nice thing about that is you can just talk in plain English with Claude on what should I improve with my Facebook ads. And I really like to use this prompt here to like set the stage. You're a professional at e-commerce and help assist shops 10x their revenue. Based on this, how are my, whatever product is here, ads looking? What should I improve going forward? And it gives you really like actionable and great insights and feedback on how to make your ads better, maybe what you should be saying in your ads, or just turning ads on and off. So I started off with 3 different videos that I was running, and I had one just blow up and do super, super good. But it taught me, you gotta turn one on and turn the others off that aren't doing so hot. And it gives you all the statistics like the click-through rate, the hook rate, and it's just a lot more efficient than going into the ads manager because if I'm gonna be honest, the ads manager user interface is terrible. It sucks to learn. It's super complicated. So being able to just speed run this with Claude here has been super helpful. But I've also found it really helpful because you can analyze your Etsy shop too, but there's no dedicated MCP like this. You have to use the Claude and Chrome connector here, and you have to open up your Etsy tab. But I mean, that really helped me out when I was having my bad month last month. It told me, what was going well, what wasn't. Told me my Serger scrap catcher was my number one product. My pattern weight has 29 favorites, but 0 orders, which, it sucks that I don't have any orders, but at least I know, people are looking at this. They're going to want it in the future. Maybe when that gifting time comes around, they have a product that they can purchase. And I think this is the biggest thing that also helped me realize was that I didn't have my bin and cart offer set up, which I thought I did, but I did not. And that was, a huge, huge realization because I could have made way more sales last month if I had this offer set up. And 104 total favorites, which is great because now I know, okay, people are just favoriting it. Maybe they're waiting until they get paid or something to purchase the product. So there's still genuine interest in the product. So I think both these two have been really, really helpful for me to grow my 3D printing business and just be more efficient and quicker than 99% of other people who are running shops, because you can just straight up talk to them, talk to Claude once a day and be like, hey, what's going on with these ads? What's going on with my shop? Why don't I have sales? Why are my sales? Why do I have many sales? So it can give you great feedback on what you should be doing, how to keep it better, and how to keep improving and iterating and being just quicker than other shops. Now, this is the last point here. Last platform I'm using is Higsfield, which is it's kind of like a conglomerate for image generation and video generation platforms. It's like, I don't know if you guys have used Perplexity, but it's like Perplexity in the way that it uses all these different AI platforms, and you can pick and choose which ones, and you can do AI generated product images, people using your product, demonstrating the product, what does it solve? And it just makes it more relatable to the person who's watching the advertisement. It doesn't feel much like an ad of you just showing the product and how it's using. You can totally make this user generated content yourself, showcasing your product and how you solve its problems. But I really like to think about being quick and trying to get as many ads out there as possible. That way you can find the winners and just stick with that singular one and not have to record a bunch of different videos, which takes a bunch of time. So, make these videos based on the reviews, speak to the benefits of the product, and demonstrate the problem that you are solving with this product specifically. And that is how you have these successful user generated content advertisements here with Higsfield. It's a great platform, honestly. It's nice to be able to compare all the different image models and the video generation models too. So the videos that I'm promoting, I have one I've recorded myself here too, using my product. All the problem that it solves, I have this on all my listings, and I think that's another huge thing is to connect that video you have on Etsy and put it on your Shopify shop. And why don't I just pull it up right here real quick? Let's So I have the video here, and one of the nice things about Etsy is that it auto plays the video, but on Shopify it doesn't. Maybe there's a plugin I'm missing. But having like a GIF of that video has been super helpful. And then showcasing maybe a screenshot from your UGC from Higsfield really helps out here too. And just showcasing all the other images of your product that have worked on your Etsy shop really helps out too here. And being really concise, I think, too, with your description. I think Etsy, you can get away with being longer because you have to put those keywords in. But with Shopify, I mean, people, they already saw the video, they know the benefits, and you can just be kind of quick and succinct with copy here, just listing the benefits of the product. And then I have the reviews here that I've took from Etsy and I've just implemented in here. And then I have other products, and then I kind of just have like a catchphrase that helps people understand what the brand does, making the add to cart obvious, just making it simple as possible for the user. And honestly, just copying it from Etsy. You know what worked on Etsy, so bring it to Shopify and do the same thing. So I have that, but I also have the AI generated UGC, just somebody demonstrating the product and how it has benefited them personally. But I think the biggest thing is don't be deceptive with your product. Genuinely show it, show the benefits, the problems it solves. Don't be deceptive. Don't make stuff that isn't real or stretches the truth of the product. I think that's, where that kind of gray area of using AI for your ads becomes a little immoral. So showcase the product genuinely. Don't deceive people with what you're making. And, I don't think it's very specific that if you have a bad month on Etsy, you should just stop selling on it. You have to use both platforms. Keep growing on Etsy, keep growing on Shopify. So my plan to keep growing at Etsy is creating more products. Like I said, Etsy is a great platform for finding the winning products, the things that people actually want. I also want to create more shops and expand into different niches. Some advice I've heard, which I don't know how true it is, but is to create a new shop for each niche that you're in, because it doesn't really help out with the algorithm if you have one shop selling a bunch of different products. It doesn't really understand what you're trying to sell to or who you're trying to sell to. So when you want to make something in a new niche, create a new shop and sell on that. Revisit some of your older listings that aren't performing as well. That's another big thing. Maybe refreshing the photos, changing up the product description, making the tags different, especially if you know it's worked in the past. Like I said, Etsy has this very constantly changing algorithm, so it's important to keep those updated if they're not doing as good, but they have worked in the past. I think another big thing is creating a gift listing. I mean, this has worked wonders for me. Like we said here in the analysis, the gift listing has 29 favorites. So people like to favorite those for later if they want to purchase it for somebody else. But it's just a way to get more eyes on your product. So for my pattern weight, I believe I have 4K in total sales. And then for the gift listing, I have 1K in total sales. And that would have just been lost if I didn't have this gift listing. More people are able to see it and they're like, okay, somebody in my life is a sewist. They like to sew or they like a quilt. So I should buy this for them. And I know that they're a very crafty person. They're going to be on Etsy. So maybe I could find something on Etsy. I think that's kind of the mindset people have. And that's really grown my shop a lot. And at the end of the day, it could just be a bad month. You know, you have your ups and downs. Sometimes people just don't buy things. And if you're still like here, which is why I think having Claude analyze your shop is really powerful. Having that 104 total favorites, that's super good to know. People are favoriting it. They just didn't buy it that month, but they'll buy it in the future. So that's why I don't think you should just completely ditch Etsy. You can use it as kind of a engine to keep growing your shop and finding those winners. So why this is a good strategy regardless, you have less reliance on just a single platform. When you hit on both, you're bringing in more money, more eyes are seeing your products, and you're going to have more sales. It's just as simple as that. It's a great way to expand your business and gain more revenue with those winning products. And you can see what works and doesn't quite work out with your shop on Etsy. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you took something away from it. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below.